All right, hey guys, this is Jason. I'm going to show you how you can create your very own transition slide using Camtasia just like this. All right, what'd you think of that transition slide? Pretty cool, huh? And it didn't cost me a dime. And you're going to be able to do the exact same thing within Photoshop and within Camtasia. Now, if you like videos like this, go ahead and subscribe to my channel and make sure you hit that notification button. All right, let's get right to it. Okay, we're going to need two tools to do this. We're going to use Photoshop and we're going to use Camtasia. And then we're going to create our transition slide, add some sound to it, and make it look really cool. So let me get to it. So let's go ahead and go into Photoshop here. And I'm in Photoshop right now, and you can see that I have one image out here. Now in this image I have two layers, and we're going to create a new one here, but I want to show you this. We're going to create and save this image as a PNG, which is a clear transparent background just like this, and the one up here which will be like this, which will be the top as transparent. Now I'm going to create a brand new one. I'm not going to do this blue one. I'm going to create a new one so I can show you guys how to do this step by step. So I'm going to go up to File and then New. And then when inside here, you're going to do a width of 1920 and a height of 1080. Now, it doesn't have to be that exact size, but somewhere pretty close to that is okay. So then just hit OK. Okay, now I've got a blank canvas right here that I can work with. Now, I want to make the image, so I want to do it green. So let's just pick a dark green. That's pretty good right there. And I'm going to say OK. Now over here, I want to go ahead and paint that screen right here, and that's like a bucket that you can dump the entire canvas a different color. So I did that. So at this point I want to do the move, but I'm locked. So this layer is locked. So all you got to do is double click on that layer, name it if you want. I'm not, and that's layer is unlocked. Now with the move key, you can move the actual green portion of it image around, and you can see the transparent background. So now on the right hand side, well actually what you need to do is hit Control T on your keyboard, and now that transforms that image, the green. And so now you can hardly see my mouse, so I'm going to drill down into it so you can see it, but you see how that changes different, and it's got kind of a little round corner to it. That allows me to move that image like this. And so what I want to be able to do is fit the image on this corner and on this corner. So I just got to adjust that image, readjust if that's the right word, and make sure it looks good there and pretty close there. So let's just go ahead and make that image a little wider, and right about there, move it a little bit more. And it's just gonna, you just got to play with it to make sure it fits in there perfectly, just like that. Actually, I'm going to bring this down just a little bit. There we go. And let's go just like that. Whoop, actually that didn't work. I'm going to move it back up just a hair. There we go. Now you can always use your mouse key to do the fine detail, which is the arrow on your mouse up there. Okay, so that looks good right there. We're going to hit the check mark, and you can see it's on the corner there. Doesn't have to be perfect, but it's pretty darn close. Okay, so now that's the top part. I want to make the bottom layer. So I'm going to duplicate the layer. So what I did is I right click on this layer right here and duplicate it. And then you could name it, I'm not. And now you see I've got two layers. Now I'm going to take off the top and select the bottom layer. Now all I want to do is with the move key again, is just slide this down and go right to the corner. Just like that. Now move it up a little bit so I don't have anything there. And that's it. Now I'll bring out the other image. Now look, it looks like one solid image, when reality is you've got two separate images there, and it looks like that. So what I want to do is add a little bit more flair to this. I want to put a little red stripe going from top to bottom here. And so what I'm going to do is select the color again, and I'm going to select red. Okay, and say okay. Now through here, we're going to select this box. It's a rectangle box, and what it does is just creates a image or another layer with the color red. Okay, Now, it doesn't have to be a specific size, just whatever you like, just whatever's width you want to make it with your own eye. So now again, when you're selected that layer right here, you can see it's highlighted, hit Control T, and now I'm going to do is move this image again so it kind of matches up to this one here. And so I'm going to move it again, and not quite there yet, so let's move it, getting closer and getting closer. Not quite there yet. There we go. Move it up. That's darn close. Okay, good. So let's widen it out so it covers the corners. Just like that. Looks good. Okay. So now we can hit the check mark up top there, and boom, that looks good. So if I take it off, we can see that it's covering that image pretty good. Okay, now I'm going to want to duplicate the red layer again, only the red. So right click on it and say duplicate and say okay. Now you can name those, I don't do it. Now you're going to want to move that top layer above the one above here. Now let me show you why, because when you take off this layer, bring up the top portion of it, this one here was going to, whoops, I've actually made another layer. I'm sorry, let me edit, undo. That's a cool thing about this, we can do undo things. And so now hit the move button, and then you can move this other one over top of it. Now, the reason why I wanted to move that up, if this layer was below the green, you see it's behind the green up here. I wanted to make it on top of that green, so I moved that layer up top and it brings it on top. So that's pretty cool. So now I just want to make sure it looks pretty good, and I'm going to use my keyboard up and down arrow to do some fine adjustments. Now I'll bring them both together, and boom, now look at that. Looks pretty cool, doesn't it? Now you don't have to do this, but I always like to do it. I hold down my shift key and bring and merge these two layers together by right clicking on them and merge. Okay, I'm going to do the same for this top two layers and merge. Now that's not necessary, but I just like to make it look good, so I have two merged files. Now there's the top, there's actually the bottom layer, and here's the bottom file, and when they come together they look like that. Okay, so now what we're going to do is save this layer. So file, save for web. Now I want to save for web because it saves it as a small file size, so it's easier to load and make sure system run a lot faster. And so this is a PNG, so you want to make sure it's on PNG. It can be PNG 8 or PNG 24, doesn't really matter at this point. And then hit File, Save, and make sure you know where you're saving it to. And I'm going to call this Green Transition 1, okay? And then hit Save. And I'm going to replace what's already out there. And then down here, I'm going to take off the button and make sure it's got the bottom portion of it, and this will be transition 2. So I'm going to say File, Save for Web, and make sure it's on PNG, and make sure you selected PNG up there. Don't select these because those are JPEG. You see it says JPEG down there? This is PNG right here. So I could select either one of these and save that there, but I want to make sure I'm saving as PNG. And then save, and I'll make this green 2, okay, and then save, and I'm going to replace that image. Okay, so now I just saved those two images. Now we need to go to Camtasia. Now I'm in Camtasia, and what I need to do is load those two images on my timeline so I can make a video for those and make a transition slide. So in the media, when I click on media up here, I have this little plus button that I can add more media. And so I right click on it, and I want to go to those two files I created, which are these two right here, right like that. And then I'm going to say open. Okay. Now I want to be able to right click on each one. So I selected that image, or that green transition 1, and I can hold down the shift key and select both of the green transitions and add to timeline. Okay, that put them both down here on my timeline. Okay, now I want to take one and move it over the top of the other. Okay, Now when I take and I'm going to drill down, if you use this, it kind of allows you to drill into the timeline so that you can actually see more of the product, or the more of the slides that you need to adjust on each of the tracks that you're designing here. Okay, so now if you look at this, and if I play this, you're going to see one image across it. So I want to be able to take now both of those images and make one slide into the other. And the way you do that is go into behavior and slide. Okay, and so I'm going to move this to slide there, and I'm going to move the bottom one to slide. Okay, now if you play the button, you'll see that. But the problem is it still doesn't work, right? So because I want them to be able to come together. So I'm going to select the top one. It's going to be in is left, and the bottom one, I want to make it come right. Okay, now let's see what happens. I play the button. Up, it's still backwards. So if you like that, that's fine. I want to make this one right. Okay, and I make the bottom one, I'm selecting the bottom track, and I make it left. Okay, now if I go back and hit the play button, you can see it moves it directly into where I want it to play, just like that. Cool, right? Now I want it the out. So this is the in, meaning the in of the front of the image. The during is inside the middle of the image, and the out. Now at the out, I just want to reverse each one of these. So this layer right here is on right. I want to make it left. And the very top one, I want to make it right, which is already right. Oops, I'm already there. I need to go to the out and make it right. Make sure I did that right. Well, we'll just test it. See if I did it right. Goes in, and let's see what happens when it comes out. Perfect. That's exactly what I wanted to see. Now, I want to make this around 20 seconds, okay? 40 seconds is a little too long for this, so let me drill into this right now, and I'm going to select both of them, hold my shift key down, and now I can slide all this into about 2 seconds right there. So now when I hit the play button, you can see it goes in and out, and it goes pretty fast, right? And that's exactly what I wanted to see. And now what I need to do is go back up to media, add my logo. Okay, so here's my logo, and I want to add it, and it's really too long, which is okay. I want to bring it down. Now I want to bring it down inside a little bit, just like that, so it's inside of the image. Perfect. Now when I hit play, my logo's there. It's consistent. It's not moving yet because I haven't done any automation to it yet. So what you want to do with your logo, and let's see, I want to bring my logo in right there. Okay, so I'm gonna bring it up about right there, and it's all based upon your personal judgment where you want things to do. So I'm going to go up to animation, and I'm going to use custom. Okay, and I'm going to drag it down, and I got this custom. Now I did it wrong already. I already know that. I'm going to hit the delete key, and so that's deleted. I want to move this off the screen right here. Okay, so that's my working screen. That's what people will see when I create the video. Now I want to create the custom, and all I want to do is drag it up into middle. Okay, and I'm going to shorten this length a little bit, and let me show you what it looks like. See how it brought that in? So now what I want to do is I want to make this flip. I want to make it turn, right? So I'm going to do a custom again, drop it in the timeline. The cursor button's going to go there. And now in the middle here, you can see when it changes, I can actually twist just like that, and boom, done. Now I want to shorten this timeline because I know I need to do that. So I've got limited space. And then when I hit the play, it's going to twist it. Perfect, right? All right. Now the last thing I want to do with this is I'm going to do again custom. I'm going to drop it in here. It's going to go to that line right there. Now I'm going to move this back just a little so I can see the image, and I'm going to drag it up just like that. and that's it. Now I'm going to move this back a little bit right there, and now watch what happens. Play, image, out. Pretty cool, huh? Now, I'm going to shrink this up a little bit. Well, when you do shrink it up, you want to make sure these are shrunk too. So everything looks good, just like that, and I'm going to bring that in a little bit. All right, let's see what this looks like. Done. Perfect. Okay. Like it a lot. Okay, now I'm going to go back up to media, and I have some soundtrack. I got a soundtrack already right here. I'm going to add it. Okay. Now that soundtrack is there, and I want to make it right like that. Okay. So now watch. Okay. Now here's the problem. This soundtrack has an image in it. So what I want to be able to do is right click on that soundtrack and separate the image from the video. When I do that, it creates another track above it. I don't want this image right here, so I'm going to delete that one, and now I have my sound. Now watch. Done. Pretty cool, huh? That's how you create a transition slide within Camtasia. Now I want to be able to group all of these together in one big grouping. So right click on it and group, just like that. Okay, now one last try, and let's show you what it looks like. Boom, that's pretty cool. Now we created a group and we created the slide, and now all I want to do is add it to my library up top. So just add it to my library up here, and then I can call this my green trans slide 2. Okay, and there it is right there. So for example, if I wanted to add it to a video, all I'd have to do, it's always going to be there because it's part of my transitions I want to do. I just add right there. Now I'm not sure why I added so many there, but I don't need that. All I needed is this one. Really don't know why I did that one either. Sometimes things happen the way I don't know why. Anyway, but now if I hit the process key, you see everything's in there. Now if I ever wanted to edit these, all I have to do is open up that minus sign here on that track, and it will open up to everything in that track, just like that. And there you go. There's your transition, just like that. And then you can minimize it so it's not showing on all those tracks. Pretty cool, huh? Now let's bring this down, and now you can add that inside of your video when you want to do a transition, just like that. Okay, hopefully this makes sense to you, and if you have any questions, make sure you comment below and I will respond to your comment, and make sure you subscribe and you hit that notification button so that you get notified whenever a new video comes out on YouTube. So have a great day, create multiple streams of income, and hopefully this saved you money and time. Have a great day. Bye-bye.